And we're not asking for handouts. We're not asking for things to be figured out for us, but it's this idea of we need that acknowledgement. We need that sense of feeling like we're accurate members of today's society. We don't need to feel like we're the pastime. We're not some backdrop in a John Wayne movie anymore. We're the idea of we're still here, we're still practicing our ways. So in a sense of from general society, that idea again of acknowledgement goes a long ways. This idea of saying, I respect you and your history. It doesn't have to be nothing more than that. It doesn't mean, in today's mindset of, the people dressing up like American Indians for Halloween and saying, I'm honoring their people, or the Redskin logo of, well, it's honoring Native people. We don't need it in that sense. We need it in a sense of saying, you're just as every right part of this. We don't treat you as a mascot. We don't treat you as a backdrop anymore, but rather we understand your culture is valuable and your history, as much as our history, is just a part of this same environment. So the idea of drawing back to, the Pilgrims landing, of being able to civil, or what would you call it, to build the United States in essence and move westward. A lot of that came from Native American knowledge. This idea of traditional farming methods, an idea of corn, idea of beans, this idea of, being able to cultivate the land to people that, didn't normally have those resources. So it's teaching those ways and acknowledging that rather than skipping over it and making it this lighthearted idea of, this, oh, the Pilgrims met the Indians, they had a good dinner, Thanksgiving, and that was it. We lived happily ever after, but rather saying, no, they actually had dinner, but at that dinner, all the Native Americans were killed. And so it's this idea of us moving forward from that, saying, okay, well, let's stop killing Native Americans. And I don't mean that directly, but I mean that in sense of, let's start looking at it as, okay, well, how do we change that narrative?